Ben with KCT here. So I just want to do something for you guys that's a little bit different, but I want to review some products that I've had for a long time, and those products are actually Delton barrels. And so I don't think Delton gets a lot of the praise that it deserves. I think in a world of I guess different offerings and things like that, they're a very good, I would say, a solid mid to upper mid tier manufacturer. But you just don't hear about them as much as probably like the BCMs or whatever. But I would take a Delton product over like a Bushmaster any day. Absolutely, no choice. And same thing with like a wind and weaponry. I would never touch one of those things if I had a Delton available. DPMS, Bushmaster, all those. I don't think that those brands have stood the test of time as well as people would like to think that they have. I mean, if you look at like what happened to the ACR, I mean, that just was a terrible, terrible thing. So what is my history with Delton, and why am I doing this video? Okay, so my history with Delton is I've ordered stuff from them. They sometimes repost my stuff on Instagram, which is cool. But beyond that, they don't know I exist. So cool, all right, I can do my own thing. Again, I've ordered some stuff from them, and I've been happy with everything that I've ordered. This isn't me kissing their ass. There's some stuff I think that, everybody that, is out there can improve. So, but what I'm going to do is go over a couple of the barrels that I have, and they are from 2013 and 2014 respectively. So, being that this is recorded towards the end of October 2020, so we're looking at 6 and 7 years on each of these barrels. So I consider that a pretty long time, especially in today's kind of fast pace. Everybody changes everything on every gun all the time. I do too. But I think that that's a pretty good test of the barrel's longevity, lifespan, and how they work. So let's go ahead and get into this. One of the reasons why I am doing this is because right now there is an unprecedented amount of people that are buying guns for the first time. There's a lot of people that we're not going to get political, but there's a lot of political stuff going on right now. The climate has changed where I think you're seeing a lot more people get into guns, or if they've got a gun, get a second gun. The AR, obviously very, very popular. So also remember that when I bought these, there was not what we have now in terms of these sort of like mass-produced different items. So like you did not have an Anderson lower for $40 in 2013. Or $50, however much it is. So, buying these lowers, this one's at Detroit Gun Works, they don't even make them anymore. But you're paying a lot of money for stuff. You're not getting, an $80, PSA barrel or something like that. So, when we talk about some of the prices and things like that, just kind of remember that this is a throwback to, again, probably the early Obama years were coming up and all that stuff. You didn't have, the manufacturing stuff that you have nowadays. So let's get into it. So the first one we have here is the Delton H-bar. And as you can see, it's pretty darn thick in there. The tanker is an absolute pain in the ass to take off. So you just have to trust me when I say that this thing is pretty stout. It is basically that width the entire way down. It's a little thicker at the gas block. So if I get the wild hair to go ahead and take this thing off, I will, but it's just a huge pain in the ass. So if you guys don't know what an H-bar is, it's heavy barreled AR. And apparently ARs are the only things that can be called H-bars because it's heavy barreled Armalite rifle. So this is a 16-inch H-bar, and this is the first gun I ever built. So when I first got my first AR, it was a CMMG 16-inch government profile. I paid like $1,000 for it, something insane. And it was literally just your car handguard, A2 grip, A2 stock, or car stock, all that crap. And I shot the barrel out, okay, in a couple years, maybe a year or two. And I mean, I shot quite a bit, but the barrel seemed to wear enormously fast. So I mean, I was getting keyholes. And I'm talking keyholes at 5-10 yards. It was ridiculous. It was just absolutely nuts. And, so I was talking to people that were knowledgeable about stuff, and they're like, usually you'll get a keyhole, 30-40 yards. And I mean, you would take a step back from your target and you shoot. At one point you're close enough that your rounds are just going right through nice little holes. You take a couple steps back, absolute keyholes are going through sideways every time. So that thing had to go. Now, this is back when I was sort of enamored with piston guns. I was buying the hype. I was really into that kind of stuff. And, everybody, all the gun writers are talking, get an H-bar, the accuracy, the longevity, there's less barrel whip, there's, all sorts of stuff. And I bought one, and it was considerably heavier than my government profile previous barrel that it replaced. And so when I bought it, I was like, okay, well, we're going to just transition over to a free float. So there is a Midwest Industries 15-inch rail that this replaced. So this has been free floated the entire time, pretty much I've had it. Now, I haven't shot these things for accuracy in a long time. You guys gotta understand, once you've had the gun for, over half a decade and it works great, I guess your desire to see what kind of groups it does is maybe a little bit less. So I should shoot it more for accuracy and let you guys know. But I've not had any problems with this. I've gone out to 400 yards with this and a red dot. Not this setup with the red dot magnifier, just a straight up red dot. And on a torso sized piece of steel, I was probably getting like 4 out of 5 consistently with like Tula. Okay. That's another important thing to realize with these barrels is I feed them a steady diet of nothing but the crappiest steel ammo that I can find. I don't like paying a lot for my ammo. I like to be able to shoot as much as I want. We are in an ammo shortage right now, so everybody's panicking for all that stuff. I'm stacked up. I stacked them deep, so I don't care. But understand that these rarely see brass. This has gone to a couple carbine classes. Has been flawless. The accuracy has been great, and I've never felt that that this barrel is limiting me in my accuracy in any way. So we'll pull this shroud off here. Yeah, I'm just being a total break arms poster boy right now. The thing about batch recording is you were caught wearing the same clothes for like 5 videos. Come on. There we go. Okay, so it's kind of see a little bit better down there in terms of how thick that barrel is. So with that shield out, it's kind of hard to see with like the threads and everything, but you can kind of see here that barrel is pretty thick. And then again, it is thicker prior to where it hits the gas block. So this again is a very, very, very stout barrel. I was dumb as well after this and got a 20-inch H-bar. I spent my money with our guns, and it's the worst fucking thing I've ever had. Well, next to the Midwest Industry, or not, Great Lakes Firearms, low receivers. Those are terrible too. But the upper receiver broke when I was removing the barrel. It snapped. Don't buy anything from our guns, guys. They're terrible. Just don't. With this, that was something I bought during the Obama panic, so that's kind of why that decision was made. But this is really, really sturdy. You have no flex. Can I get this thing out here? There you go. Maybe yes. Watch this. Okay. Good enough. So so it's been a great barrel. I can't get this thing back on. It's late, guys. I don't know what to tell you. So the H-bar is great. Chrome line. It was the barrel number 1044 from their inventory. That is the SKU there. It was $189 plus shipping, so about $200, something like that. So again, realize that you weren't seeing $80, $90 barrels from Primary Arms. DB15 barrels weren't around. You didn't have a good option probably under the $200-300 price mark for something that was not a Bushmaster, that was not a DPMS or something crap like that. And then of course you had the higher end barrel. So I really like this barrel, but again, it is much heavier probably than I like and than I need. So this is sort of my Go Fast gun. It's got a nice fast trigger in there, a Hyperfire trigger. The controls are a little upgraded, lots of V7 stuff, SRC for the bolt, beautiful, beautiful bolt. And this is sort of that, the test gun that I have. So a lot of the stuff that I do for the channel gets tested out on this gun. Rails, muzzle devices, all this, the whole nine yards. So, the one thing that's really constant is the barrel. And, despite, different handguards and all that, really no zero shift. It's been great. So, the H bars, I can definitely recommend. I mean, it's looking back on it now, I would probably go with something lighter. But I don't regret my decision. The gun's got a good weight to it. Doesn't recoil. I mean, you just, it's great. So, if you want an H bar, definitely a good way to go. Again, they offer the chrome lining. I went for that, and again, this is 7 years old. Okay, and I mean, it looks great. If we were able to look down the bore and everything shine light, it looks almost like it's brand new. There's a little bit of dirt and grime in there and stuff, and I don't clean my guns that often. But I mean, for 7 or 8 years, I mean, I look at some people's guns and say, okay, well, I would challenge that gun, the barrel and whatever, to continue to go and not wear out. And again, this is seeing thousands upon thousands of rounds. I don't know how exactly, how many, but I mean, I buy Tula by the case and just pump it through these guns. So, after having a barrel that I shot out from CMMG with steel case ammo, and then just burning it through here, it's been great. And the nice thing too is with it being thicker, the heat buildup is a lot less. So you can actually afford to go ahead and keep that grip on there with a little bit less heat. So right now it's got a Breek Arms adjustable gas block on there too. So we're doing everything Breek today. So I can't go with it. So let's go ahead and drop that one down there, and let's take a look at the next one. So this is, I think, the second or third gun that I built, and this gun is in this gun is in direct response to the first gun that I built. So that one was super, super heavy. This is much lighter. So what this is a pencil profile barrel. Now, underneath it widens up a little bit. You can kind of see, let's take a look right there. See how that's wider underneath the front side post, and then it narrows down? That's the diameter all the way up the handguard. And the handguard's kind of a pain in the ass to take off. It's a Mission First Tactical. It's one of the best ones I've ever used, but it's cut diagonally, so it doesn't pop off like a normal handguard does. But if you are in the market for an AR quad handguard, this thing is sick. And this is something I've had for almost as long as this barrel. No burns, nothing. So it's awesome. So not to hijack the thread. So this is a 1/9, and so is the other one. Back when I bought it, there was a lot less of the 1/7 craze. You had a lot of companies selling 1/9. You get a 1/7 here and there, but they were fewer and farther between. The good news is I mean, once you get past all the hype and everything, these things are going to launch projectiles of either one of those weights. It's going to be fine. You're not going to have any problems with it. I shoot 77 graders, 62, 55. It doesn't matter. I don't care. They all shoot pretty well. And this thing actually grips pretty well. For being a lighter barrel, it does heat up a little bit more than your standard. But I've never gone and ran this gun and felt limited by it. So I've gone to a couple carbine classes with this where, you're heating it up pretty good, in your courses of fire. And then maybe at the end you'll have a challenge of, like a walkback drill when you're shooting steel or whatever. And I've never been like, oh God, this thing is, it's warm. Oh no, my zero shift. It's been great. And again, this thing sees almost exclusively steel case. So again, it's a chrome line. It is number 1052, and it was also $189. Plus, I bought the front sight post and all this stuff. This is back when I was like really into like the front sight post military type guns. You have to have a fixed iron, to be a fighting gun, whatever. So this, again, this is really kind of been unchanged for like 6 years. But this barrel is excellent. And again, these thousands and thousands of rounds. When I say I'd buy cases of Tula, before the panic, I mean 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time, and then go to classes or go to the range day and just burn ammo because you don't care, you've got enough of it. Shot a bunch of 22 through it. .22 is filthy, and you know, like it would gonk up the muzzle brake so that when I shoot 5.56, after that you're blowing out like crusties from the muzzle brake. It's crazy. You don't want to stand by it. But you know, I rarely clean these guns, and I've never had any accuracy issues with either one of these. The only downside I can say that I saw with this was when I first bought it. I looked down the barrel, and there was like metal shavings from where they drilled the gas port. Now, that's the only time I've ever seen that in a barrel. Like literally out of all the dozens and dozens and dozens of ARs I've only seen that in this one barrel here. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, you know what happens? What if I shoot it and the metal, you know, it's going to score the ins? No, put ammo in it and shoot it. It'll clean it right out. All that metal shit's gone. It didn't scratch the barrel. It doesn't impede or impair my accuracy. Everything's been great, you know, so no problems there, even though I was freaked out again when I was first getting it. I was very new to building ARs. So for me, seeing something different was like, oh shit, you know, what is this? But beyond that, man, it's been solid. So it's been riding on this thing for the whole time, just, you know, normal car length handguard, gas system, the whole 9 yards. It's never been free floated. It's always been in this gun. And this is one of my absolute favorite guns. And one of the reasons why I love this is there's so much V7 stuff on here, like this cover, that really make it very nice and light. They're, you know, the castle nut, everything else. The charging handle, I don't think you can even get it anymore. It's a center core charging handle. And it is like a latchless charging handle. It has a 3D printed piece, but there's no moving parts. You don't have any of the like pivot points that you'd have on a normal charging handle. So you just have your 3D printed part there that actually locks into the receiver. So it's been very nice and lightweight. The gun is maybe 6 pounds as configured. It feels almost like a handgun. It's ridiculously light because everything else on here is polymer. You know, front handguard polymer. There's no free float. There's no metal. You know, stock polymer. Everything else. So really, really good. Love this. Love this setup. It's something that I think that everybody who owns a couple of ARs should have something like this, where you have a nice light gun that, you know, especially if you've got to go somewhere, you know, you're not humping it around. It's super, super heavy. Things like that. So definitely when I built the heavier one and I got the lighter profile, I really, 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 I liked it. You know, it was the thing that I had needed to sort of rekindle my love for the platform, because the other one was so heavy and it was so, and by heavy, I mean, you know, come on guys, I'm not huge, I just, you know, little stick arms, but what I'm saying is heavy isn't a relative thing, you know, so it's much heavier than something like this. And, you know, having this was like, cool, you know, I can build a light rifle, I can build a gun that's, you know, not, you know, super heavy. A lot of that comes from the barrel, you know. If I was to plug this one into the H-bar, we would see the same kind of thing. So, guys, whether they're heavy, whether they're light, Delton barrels, in my book, good to go. And this isn't, you know, like I said, this isn't a review of, oh, you know, I got one, you know, like 2 weeks ago, and I love it, it's great, it's whatever, you know, 6-7 years. And I mean, for most of that time, weekend range trips, you know, if not every weekend, every other weekend, at least during the warmer months, and then a couple times during this the winter. But you know, they've not been babied. They've been left dirty. They've been left in the rain. They've gone through classes where it's rained the entire time. They're just laid in puddles in their downtime, and you know, no issues, no rust. Again, get that chrome lining on there, which at that time at least was an option. You know, it wasn't something that you had to get. I think it was something that you could add on to there, and I don't know if it's like the double chrome lining or what. I was actually checking my receipts on my phone earlier, and I just saw that it was chrome line. I didn't see that it said like extra, but I know that around that time, you know, again, you didn't really have nitriding. You know what I mean? You didn't have you know, being able to go ahead and put like a melanite finish on guns. I mean, obviously the process was there, but you know, in 2012, 2013, you know, 2014, you were not seeing nitride barrels being put out for, you know, under $100, you know. So it was just, both these are phosphate on the outside, you know, phosphate action there. So both phosphate on the outside, chrome line on the inside, so very basic, but very, very good. and they are marked. So this one is, let's see here. Okay, it's DTI, so Delta Industries, 1/9 Chrome Line, 5.56 NATO. And yeah, so both these guns are 5.56 NATO. The 223 Wild wasn't really that much of a thing back then. I don't remember hearing about it anyways. And, you know, I wasn't going to go and get a 223 chamber gun because I'm not an idiot. So, beyond that, guys, I definitely would say that if you're looking for a barrel, especially these troubled times, definitely check out Delton. Don Ben from KCT sent you. Tell me you saw the video. But they're good. You know, I mean, you're not going to get like, you know, Geisley, you know, or whatever, or, you know, crazy, you know, super. I mean, I have V7 barrels that cost almost more than some of my guns, you know. So trust me when I say that, you know, I understand what the higher end of, you know, that kind of production is versus the more like, you know, consumer end of just, hey, it's a chrome line phosphate barrel, you know, run it. You know, but I've never sat there and said, okay, you know, I've got my V7 barrel. That thing just prints clover leaves when you're not even trying. But I've never sat there and gone like, oh shit, you know, I don't have my V7 barrel. I don't know how I'm ever going to hit things. No, you're old. That's all I can say. So, yeah, definitely I would check them out. You know, they do sell their stuff a lot of times in assemblies. So you'll look at their website and it'll say, oh, you know, this has got the front sight post and the, you know, the spring, the detent, as I gotta turn a little bit, all that good stuff. And, you know, so you kind of have to like look around if you just want the barrel. You know, a lot of places typically just sell the barrel. So for them, you'll see whether they'll sell like a barrel upper assembly, so you have the entire upper receiver. Sorry guys, I lose my voice. Or you'll have it where it is the assembled barrel in the sense that you have your barrel. You've had your front sight post with the detent spring and sight, and then possibly your gas tube, roll pin gas tube, stuff like that. So if you don't want all that, they do sell them separately. You just gotta kind of look. You know, if I could say anything for Delton is, you know, their prices are good, but I don't think enough people have tried a lot of their stuff. You know, like you know, Mr. Guns and Gear will do a video like their new budget rifle and stuff, and it's great. You know, but a lot of people don't know, I think, them as well as they could, you know. And you know, if you say BCM, everybody knows it. You know, if you say you know, Aero Precision, everybody knows it. And they make really, really good rifles. I've built a lot of people's guns with Delton barrels, Delton parts, and I've not had anybody come back and say, oh, this is a piece of crap, this thing sucks, I hate it, the barrel blows. You know, these are my longest barrels, because I mean, this is the second gun that I built. So, you know, to have it for that long and feed it just garbage the entire time and have it still run, I'm happy with it. You know, I don't think that you can ask for anything more in a barrel from a company. It's been holding, you know, the consistent, you know, groups that I've been expecting. And again, I'll shoot it for accuracy at some point, but I mean, these are red dot guns that are designed for, you know, not necessarily, you know, 300 yard, whatever. I mean, that one's going out to 400, but, you know, but you know, I'll try to roll some video here. I run a lot of 1-3 drills with this gun, and this speed is insane. Having such a light gun that you can just track from target to target. That thing's got some swing to it, you know. So if you're moving from target to target, you've really got that sort of mechanical sway. Where this, I mean, it's just very, very light, very, very easy to just, you know, move, you know, almost with just like one finger. And get the whole thing going. So as long as you don't load up the rest of the gun with a bunch of shit and make it super heavy, you know, having that lightweight barrel does definitely pay off. So guys, check them out. You know, definitely tell them that I sent you. You know, I think that they're a great brand. They're a brand that I would spend money with again. And, you know, especially in these uncertain times, you know, people rush to the big outlets. You know, people are going to go to Primary Arms. People are going to go to, you know, Palmetto State Armory, stuff like that. And you're going to get a lot of that saturation where people, you know, they see, oh god, this is on sale, I'm buying a barrel for $80. Well then, you know, yeah, cool. But, you know, those are gone really quickly, you know, and so then what do? You know, there's a couple different companies right now that kind of make mid-ish level type stuff, and I've shot their stuff, it's okay. And, you know, and I've used some of their stuff, and built some of their stuff, it's alright. But I know that these work. you know, as long as they haven't changed their process, which, you know, they may have, but as long as they haven't, again, you know, for 7 years, 6 years, it's a pretty long test. It's probably probably my longest test so far. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them below. Definitely like, share, comment, subscribe. All these things help us. We're a very small channel right now. We're growing, but you know, YouTube is as YouTube does. Gun stuff doesn't really fly there very much. So we are trying to, you know, get that expanded so we can bring you more content. Don't have a Patreon yet, and don't really have anything that I can give you for Patreon. So, but definitely we'll go ahead and have a link for all the syndicate stuff, and you can get discounts for a lot of the stuff that we have in these videos with the syndicate link. Of course, it doesn't link right to the products because YouTube is YouTube and all that good stuff. So maybe we'll get a Delton, you know, discount code or something. So guys, yeah, give us a shout, ask us some questions. Have a great night or day, or whatever time it is for you, and you know, be nice to each other, but stay accurate too. See ya.